And we're live. Good evening, Manhattan, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond. My name is Kirk Kerber. This is my spiritual, supernatural, mystical, and magical television show. We have been going out live from Studio 4 here in New York City for the past going on 16, I think it's 16 years now. If you'd like to know more about what I do, I'm an initiated shaman, a spiritual medium, and a psychic spiritual advisor. And you can check out more of what I do at kirkspiritual.com. And this is my mystical, magical, supernatural television show. And I'm right in the process of being certified as a master hypnotist. Look into my eyes. But first, I'm just going to put you in a light trance, and we're going to focus on the golden light and heal one of your chakras, the sacral chakra in the back at the base of your spine. So take a deep breath and relax and get ready to go into a trance. Shakti. My name is Kirk Kerber, and welcome to my supernatural, spiritual, mystical, and magical TV show. I think we're just going to leave that running in the background. So, tonight we're going to talk about the history of hypnosis. And I don't know why that color went so dark all of a sudden. Let's see. Do we have something better? We played this one last week. This one might be better.
Right now, but take a look, take an inventory of.
Let's see. This is a good one also. I meditate to and go into a trance. This one is a whole body rejuvenation and regeneration. Check this one out. Yeah, there we go. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can check out a lot of my interviews and past TV shows. Let's see if it will come up here. And I also have a there we go. I also have a lot of playlists. And here we go. Here's last week's show right here. And sometimes we have musicians on. And I just rebuilt the channel. And I completely gutted the whole thing after 10 years. And here's some of my videos. And you can check all those out. And here is what my profile looks like. There you go. And let's see the playlists. So I have, let's see, self-defense, vintage shows, meditation, and I don't know, just great spiritual stuff. Supernatural, spiritual, mystical, and magical. So if you want any of that, you can check it out. It's as a courtesy to you and your spiritual information. So, I'm getting certified as a master hypnotist. I am an initiated shaman with over 5 near-death experiences, and I talk to people. I read every one of your emails. Tell me about all your weird psychic spiritual adventures and weird occurrences. And sometimes people hire me to help them with weird psychic phenomenon or spiritual crisis or interdimensional shamanic healing or even Akashic records reading and past lives. And now I'm getting certified as a master hypnotist as well, even though I do offer a thing to my clients that is like a therapeutic trance session, a hypnotic therapeutic trance session that I will take people into like a guided trance meditation. But now I'm actually getting the certificate for something I've basically been doing already for, you know, over 10 years. But so in the real world, I'm studying with a guy named Dan Jones. Dan Jones or Dan Brown? Gosh, I'm such a bad student. Dan Jones. I'm studying with Dan Jones, master hypnotist from the UK, and probably by September I'll have a certification in regular hypnosis and then conversational therapeutic hypnosis, both Ericksonian based. So having said that, I don't know if Dan really, maybe Dan actually has a some videos. It didn't even occur to me. Let's try and find it. Maybe he does. Oh, he does. Okay, let's look at some of Dan Jones' videos, because this is the guy that I'm studying. And I will definitely subscribe to him. And let's see what Dan has to say. Then we're going to go and check out, let's see, The Magical Mirror, Sleep Story for Grown-Ups, Lucid Dream, How Much Money, Dreaming Wisdom, Living with Autism, My Journey to Diagnosis, Lack of Inner Discovery, Hypnotic Bedtime Story. Let's see, how about Peaceful Cave? Let's try that one. Let's see what Dan Jones has to say about going into the Peaceful Cave. I'm not studying him on YouTube. I'm actually taking teleclasses, but
if you're interested in being kept informed about future adult bedtime stories, just subscribe below, and if you enjoy this bedtime story, find it helpful, please leave.
You gotta listen.
As you listen to me, my voice.
You gotta listen to this guy's voice. This is the voice to imitate. Okay, hang on.
Relaxing in your own way while you follow my voice and listen to this story. And you can drift more comfortably asleep as you continue listening. And each time you listen, you can sleep deeper and more sound and relax. And this story is The Cave Dive. And so I'm going to guide you on a journey about a diver who goes out to sea. And this diver goes out on a boat, leaves from the shore, and it's a rigid inflatable boat. And the diver turns on the engine and starts steering that boat out to sea with the buzzing sound of the engine in the background. And the sloshing of the water and the splashing of the waves.
All right. So I think this video, as you can see, and also here, that Dan, he has this incredible voice. And you know, about 7 years ago, my clients started telling me, I watch your videos on YouTube, Kirk, because your voice is very soothing. So I'm kind of educating my voice now to be that kind of melodic, rhythmic, Ericksonian, if you know what that is. Ericksonian, it's a type of hypnosis, a school of hypnosis, where Erickson, who was a hypnotist, would just involve you in a story and do this free-floating, free-form type of hypnotism where he would just talk to you, you know, and he would tell you, don't worry about being hypnotized, we're just going to talk and be relaxed. And he would sit next to them and just kind of tell them a story, really. And so Dan Jones is Ericksonian as well, and I will also be an Ericksonian. It's more hypnotic, to use a word, than a regular hypnotist. Regular hypnotists and some of the schools and classes they give, it's a little stiff, you know what I mean? It's a little stiff and a little dated. But Dan Jones, what I'm learning in conversational therapeutic is you just involve somebody in a story. You don't even have to tell them, you know, I'm putting you in a trance. People are basically in and out of a trance all day long looking at their cell phones. So they naturally go into a trance. What happens is they're going to freeze up when you're like, I'm going to hypnotize you. And, you know, when you take a client, you ask the client, you know, where's the stuckness? What's going on? Well, Kirk, I have conflict and resistance, and I just have this kind of conflict pain inside of me, and I don't really know what to do. And so basically you just talk to them and assist them. I'm going to assist you with my voice. The only thing that is important right now is the sound of my voice. And basically they just close their eyes anyways. A lot of times you don't even really have to tell the client to close their eyes. They want to be relaxed. Listen, I'm going to take you on a journey. I like the example of being in a forest, and the forest is kind of somewhat dark, and then I walk you out of the forest to maybe a waterfall or a nice beach, and we just kind of sit there for a while, and we just kind of get you to focus on my voice, and then maybe after like 10 minutes, deeper and deeper and deeper into the trance you go, deeper and deeper, more relaxed. Your aura and energy is full of bliss and serenity, deeper and deeper, always focusing on the soothing sound of my voice. And so I already had kind of a hypnotic voice from what my clients told me, so now I'm just kind of further educating it, and to be this kind of monotone to help people in this therapeutic trance hypnosis. So that's all that, and so that's my teacher, and I'm getting a certification with him and his class. And now here's another school called the American Hypnosis Association, and I think they give degrees online as well from watching videos, but they do have this one video. It's a little old. They're based out in California, and I actually did think about moving to California to go to this school, or possibly maybe San Diego and study under David Snyder, who is an NLP and master hypnotist, among a black belt and an acupuncturist doctor. I mean, David Snyder, man, hitting it out of the park. He is just mesmerizing, and he's just bold, and he's got confidence. And if you can find some of his videos, and I've shown him on the show before, I highly recommend just watching him give these seminars on YouTube. And a couple of them are for free. He's a little pricey, you know, his stuff starts around $700 for a couple videos, but, you know, shop around. But I did think about moving to San Diego to study with David Snyder. I mean, that would be like my, I think, top line after studying with Dan Jones. But so let's watch this. It's the history of hypnosis. It'll give you a better idea. And this is the American Hypnosis Association's intro video about the history of
Hello, my name is John Melton, and this is Hypnosis in History. Hypnosis as we know it today had its origins in the unique medical practices of Dr. Franz Anton Mesmer, a physician who lived in Vienna, Austria during the mid-18th century. Mesmer was a fervent believer in the more esoteric aspects of Western medical tradition, including the influence of astronomy and magnets on human health. Or during a magnetic treatment with a female patient, Mesmer felt that he perceived a fluid flowing through the woman's body whose flow was affected by his own will. He eventually named this fluid and its manipulation animal magnetism, and developed an elaborate theory regarding its effect on health. Every individual had magnetic fluid flowing through channels throughout his body. He believed that certain individuals had more or less innate animal magnetism, and therefore varied in their ability to manipulate the flow of this fluid. In the late 1770s, Mesmer moved to Paris and found more interested students there than in Vienna. The process of animal magnetism, or mesmerism, laid the foundations for the later development of hypnosis. A contemporary English doctor described Mesmer's technique in vivid detail. His patients were received with the air of mystery and studied effect. The apartment, hung with mirrors, was dimly lit. A profound silence was observed, broken only by strains of music which occasionally floated through the rooms. The patients were seated around a sort of vat which contained a heterogeneous mixture of chemical ingredients. With this and with each other, they were placed in relation by means of cords or jointed rods or by holding hands, and among them slowly and mysteriously moved Mesmer himself, affecting one by a touch, another by a look, a third by passes with his hand, a fourth by pointing with a rod. One person became hysterical, then another. One was seized with catalepsy, others with convulsions, some with palpitations of the heart, perspirations, and other bodily disturbances. The method was supposed to provoke in the sick person exactly the kind of action beneficial to his recovery. To the uninitiated, the scene was full of wonderment. The extraordinary tales of Mesmer's personal power over individuals are probably part exaggeration, part real results of his confidence and skill in the use of the means he wielded. By the mid-1780s, Mesmer's dramatic practices had drawn the amazement and scrutiny of the citizens of Paris, including the King Louis to examine animal magnetism as fact or fiction once and for all. Louis XVI's panel included medical doctors from the Royal Faculty of Medicine in Paris, as well as respected scientists from other fields. These included the chemist Antoine Lavoisier, discoverer of oxygen and hydrogen, Dr. Joseph Guillotin, co-founder of the Academy of Medicine in Paris, and the inventor of the guillotine. Astronomer Jean Bailly, a senior member of the French Academy of Sciences, who studied the moons of Jupiter, and American scientist and ambassador to France, Benjamin Franklin. After months of investigation and observation, the commission determined that Mesmer had not discovered a real physical fluid, that the human body did not contain previously undiscovered channels, and that any effects of his treatments were due to solely the imagination of the subjects. His reputation ruined by the commission's findings, Mesmer returned to Vienna the following year, eventually returning to the countryside near his place of birth, living out the last 30 years of his life in near total obscurity. Though the idea of animal magnetism had been debunked within scientific circles, a number of individuals continued the practice into the 19th century, many making their own unique changes to the underlying theories and procedure, some performing it in stage mesmerism shows. Mesmerism took a turn towards something closer to modern hypnosis with one of Dr. Mesmer's followers, the Marquis de Puységur, a lower nobleman of the French aristocracy. The story of his session with a peasant named Victor is widely thought to be the first use of mesmerism
if you want to
improve the mood
watch the
or
rest
psychological.
of this, it's 13 minutes and 30 seconds longer. I like watching that video because I like knowing the history, and it's only when you know the history that then you can like riff off and do something like Ericksonian. So let's try to see if we can find Ericksonian. Here we go. Ericksonian language patterns, Ericksonian hypnosis storytelling. And let's see if we can actually find something of Milton Erickson. And I've shown his stuff on the show before. There is stuff about him online, and he did make videos. I don't know if he's still alive, actually.
Please go to www.pf.
Anything. It gives you a favorable climate in which to work.
Dr. Erickson, what do you recommend for learning the techniques of hypnosis? Who do you recommend going to for that? I live in the Santa Fe area. I don't know a particular person or some kind of...
In first place, develop your own technique. Don't try to use somebody else's technique. And you can have them look at an object and discuss learning, write the letters of the alphabet. That's the easiest technique. And tell them to relax as a conscious stream. You get tired, that's conscious. Go to sleep, that's conscious command. I talk about difficulties learning to write the letters of the alphabet. And just naturally go into a trance.
See, I agree
don't try to
more with
imitate
this
my
guy
voice
than the
or
other
my
schools. Because I think the other ones are kind of like stuck in their head and they're like way too stiff. And he's just kind of like, hey, you know what? It's free form. It's actually kind of a gift. You know what I mean? Frankly, I mean, develop your own technique, but I think that you have to kind of like have the natural gift of it and understand it. You know, what I'm also looking to get certified in is to just, like, there's certain things. You don't dredge up a trauma for a client. You don't dredge up a trauma. What you do is you put them in a therapeutic trance, a healing, soothing trance, and then you soothe them in their subconscious, but you don't really like dredge up stuff. And so that's the kind of stuff I'm learning, you know, here's what you don't do. And I've been actually doing shows and reading books about hypnosis in the last year. And then when I saw the Dan Jones and heard him speak, and so then he's giving these classes, and then he says, now I want you to stop doing whatever you're doing, just look at me and just listen to me. And in less than like 5 minutes, I was like, you know, I went under just watching this guy from my cell phone. And I just went, poof. So whatever Dan Jones is doing, and he's a student of Ericksonian, Milton Erickson, that's the technique. So that's what I'm learning. So I will be able to put you in a therapeutic trance, conversational therapeutic trance on anything that you're looking to do. Confidence, power, and intelligence. You know, you want to have charisma. You want to radiate health and wealth and have some good looks in every direction. You know, it could be gender specific. It could be, you know, just confidence and charisma in general. I look good and I feel good. That's another induction. The induction is basically what we kind of know of a classic, you know, like this is an old school, you know, we all know this from the 70s. You know what I mean? Look into the wheel.
I'm just going to keep looking into this one. So yeah, that illusion was okay. It didn't really...
Keep looking into the wheel. But I actually have my clients watch videos like the two I showed. You know, they're like these new age. The sound volume never goes really up or down. It just is this kind of ambient monotone, and I just say, look at the screen. You know, I like to get pictures of Buddhas that kind of move a little bit and stuff like that. So I think we're almost out of time. Let me see. So I can, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm on all social media, and this is my page on Facebook, and you know, it has some information about what I do and what I provide for clients, as well as all my recommendations, which is a lot of them. So you could just check all those out. Let's see. I don't know, they kind of go on and on and on, but there's that, and I don't know, what else, let's see, I posted some pics of the show on my regular page, and people are liking it. Let's see, I do have a homepage too, just a regular thing. Let's see, so there's the show. Kirk Kerber, spiritual shaman and master hypnotist, and there's the kind of notice for the show tonight. And what else can I show you? We've got like 1 minute. Let's see, Kirk spiritual. There you go. So I'm an easy guy to get a hold of, and we are running out of time. Yes, I did mean Kirk Spiritual. So there's a lot of images of the TV show, and I've been working with clients now for like the last, I don't know, 25 years. And so there you go. I've got some good write-ups on Google. And let's see, real quick. Here's my website, and there's lots of fun and free stuff to read. And here we go. That's about me. So we have run out of time. Until next time, my name's Kirk, and I will see you next week in the Cyber Temple of Shamanic Love and Therapeutic Hypnotic Trance. And thank you for watching and being a guest tonight. And I have over 100 videos and I think 300 hours of free spiritual content online, all free for love, on my website, on YouTube, Vimeo, and Daily Motion. So that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Shakti and Namaste. Thanks for watching, guys.